wanted to encourage you with a few things that have been encouraging me recently. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so this morning I was reading the devotional Gentle and Lowly. It's our new version. Like there's a book and the devotion is on YouVersion. And it was so encouraging. It was talking about how so there's a verse in Hebrews that talks about how Jesus is our great high priest, and how we can approach the throne of grace with such confidence. And actually, let me read it quickly. Okay. So Hebrews 5, no, Hebrews 4:14 says, "Therefore, since we have such a great high priest who has ascended into heaven, Jesus the Son of God, let us hold firmly to the faith we profess. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." And then just 5 verse 1 says, "Every high priest is selected from among the people and is appointed to represent the people in matters related to God, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins." Verse 2, "He is able to deal gently with those who are ignorant and going astray, since he himself is subject to weakness." Alright, so the devotional was talking about that and how, like, because Jesus walked on earth, because he literally went, like, yeah, because of that, and because he was sinless, like, he perfectly empathizes with our weakness. But sometimes it might be like, oh, but how can he do that when he didn't sin? How can he empathize with our sin when he didn't sin? And he didn't sin, he was perfect. But because you see, they gave the example of, like, when it's really really windy, right, and someone then lies down to, like, give into the wind, or, like, stops walking. Jesus never stopped walking, if that makes sense. He knows the greatest temptation there ever was, because he never gave into it. And I thought that was so cool. But then anyway, back to the high priest. And so Jesus, like, he knows, and there's this thing of, like, God's no is just as good as his yes, which I think that's a hard thing to remember and to believe, because in our minds, like, no's are always bad. A no is bad, it's like not it. But God's no is just as good as his yes. It's just as filled with goodness as his yes. And so when we bring things to him, and when he says no to certain things, we can trust that it's good, and we can trust that he knows how we feel, even in that disappointment, even in that hurt, whether, externally caused, whatever it is. Like, he truly knows how you feel. And that hit me this morning. I was like, wow, like, thank you, Jesus, that you know exactly how I feel in all of those moments, and I can turn to you because you're just so good, and I can boldly approach your throne of grace, and I can ask for things, and even if the answer is no, that's still good. And so, yeah, it's a short little video today. I just wanted to encourage you with that. Yeah. It's as simple as that. That we can boldly approach, as children of God, if you've accepted God into your life as a child of God. You can boldly approach his throne of grace and ask for things, but even more than ask for things, just be there, to just be in his presence, to tell him things, to say, oh, to be so brutally honest with him, like, we can do that, and we have been given the right to do that through him. And I think that's just so incredible. And in Hebrews 5 verse 2, when it's talking about, like, so it was talking about how Jesus is the high priest at the end of chapter 4, and it switched to then, like, the role of the high priest, and it says, "He is able to deal gently with those who are ignorant and going astray, since he himself is subject to weakness." Isn't it incredible that Jesus wasn't subject to weakness? Like, he went through every single temptation. I guess he kind of was, like, or he wasn't subject to sin. Sorry, let me say that. So he went through all of it, more than we could ever, like, that we could ever endure, and yet he remains sinless, and so we can depend on him. So yeah, I just wanted to remind you of that. Like, I hope that made sense, because that's, like, kind of what's flitting around in my brain. And yeah, that, like, God's no is just as good as his yes, and in that, in whatever you feel about that, you can bring that to him, and he will, and he understands, like Jesus understands that, and he also intercedes for us, like he's praying for us all the time, to God the Father, and I think that's so beautiful. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I cannot find my microphone for the life of me. I cannot find like my external microphone, so I'm sorry about the sound quality. I hope it was okay. But I will find it. And currently I'm cleaning my room. I'm on holiday, and so I'm doing the like, the like holiday deep clean, and reshuffle. I cannot have my space stay the same for like too long. So yeah, that's why these plants are over there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, friend. I truly do appreciate it. If you're encouraged by this video, like it, subscribe it, dig into your word. Above all, I hope that this will prompt you to talk to Jesus and dig into your word. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Again, bye.